The next segment is the peoples of Nigeria must negotiate their sovereignty uninhibited. We are not begging. We are not begging because the land belongs to the people. The God that created us and kept us on all the ancestral land has a plan. So we are not begging you that you brought foreign entity and put on our land. We will not beg you. We will not beg you. We will discuss, we will be free, uninhibited, to discuss how we want to live on the land that God has given to us and how we want to interact with our neighbors. Because that is the specification of the 46 articles of 2007 United Nations Declaration on the Rights of the Indigenous Peoples. So we have something that we are working with. We are not just moving around with issues. There are processes being followed here. Please continue to help us share and like. My sister will play the last segment. Thank you.
Across the last 2 weeks, we're reporting to you. We're reporting to you how close we are to complete success. That constitution is dead and gone, and that is why everybody going to TV these days, with all the problems confronting everybody everywhere, what do? Their answer is the same. Constitution has to be reworked. Tinubu says, oh, let me finish with the economy. Because the people that came to see him did not have a clear idea of what the problem was or what the solution could be. They went because they had, I don't even know what they thought they were taking to him. The blind leading the blind. How can you start a process of this nature with writing the outcome? The peoples of Nigeria must negotiate their sovereignty unfettered, uninhibited, and it's not the business of government or National Assembly. There are many who are still in the ignorance of thinking that National Assembly is the one to lead them in the process. No. South Africa in 1990 had to solve this same type of problem. It took an announcement of the government of the day to acknowledge that apartheid constitutional arrangement could not sustain the society anymore. The same thing we demand today. That same announcement said they were going to suspend further national elections. They were going to decommission that apartheid. That they were going to suspend further national elections under the apartheid constitution. And that the owners of the sovereignty, the blacks, will have to come to table for the first time to discuss their sovereignty. And then it was a time-bound announcement. We will start tomorrow morning. We will finish in 2 weeks. What NINAS has on the table, the proposition NINAS placed before Nigeria and Nigerians since December of 2020, has the 5 things you must find answers for now, except you want Nigeria to go up in smoke. And it's heading so fast to where to go up in smoke. I'm sure most of us listening to Obi Ezekwesili telling them that they don't have much time. They don't have any time at all to drag foot on this ground, on this matter. She was able to point out to them that the issue, the central issue, is not about writing another document. It is the discussion among those who will be in that union. That they are the ones who have to determine all kinds of things. They say, but the economy should be done first. Say, no, it is the constitution that is reason the economy is upside down, which we have been discussing for the past 1 hour plus. It is the constitution that took away all the means of production to render Nigeria the poverty capital of the world, with all the potentials here. What a shame! But the blame is less on the less than 1% governing the place. The 99% that have been docile, criminally docile, criminally ignorant. Who is going to explain to those who do not have education when all the PhDs are going around just like goats?
Diplomats even.
Totally unconcerned and unconnected with what is coming to kill them where they are. What has rendered them poverty-stricken with all their efforts. What has collapsed the value of the currency they have in their hand. What could lead to Fulani turning up right at their doorstep and kill them.
And nobody.
They are not interested in it. We could say they're under a spell, but that spell must have some kind of expiration. What about the churches in the land? Look at their numbers. Look at the noise coming from them. So where is that power they are using to hoodwink so many people? When if everybody is under such a spell, where is that power? They're inviting people to come and subscribe. And so we are saying that what Ninas has, to break it down, is actually one proposition. I'm sure some of us struggle with why we say 5 points, as if it is 5 different. No, it is one proposition broken into 5 components so that everybody can see exactly what the problem is. That's number 1. What the solution is. That's number 2. When would that solution be applied? Because we've been too long in it and we're in a dangerous situation now. That's number 3. When? Number 4 is how. How? We say it is the owners of the sovereignty in 2 stages that will discuss what will become their union and the terms of that union. That's number 4. How? Number 5 is then who will do what? Amongst, that is the how, the who, the when, and the what. Look at it again. 5-point proposition is about, number 1, what the problem is. Number 2, what the solution is. Number 3, when will the solution be applied. Number 4, how and who. The time-bound announcement is to tie the 4 together and tell the global community that we have drifted for so long. We have now come to our senses. Like South Africa came in 1990, and we are committing to solving the problem in this specific way and that specific way. That is what we're inviting everybody to do now. And the task has been done 95%. If those we're inviting now, in the 3 years left to the next election, will listen to us in 2024 and declare that they will not go to another election under this constitution, say so loudly inside 2024. Say it as if your life depends on it, because it actually depends on it. Tell the political parties to close shop, because otherwise they should show you the constitution under which they are going to perform miracle if they replace the one that is there. And tell me how you are going to defeat people who came from the flanks and jumped in through the window to become president. You saw Wike boasting. You saw Akpabio running his mouth about how they will stay 8 years. How are you going to do it? And even if you succeed, what will change? What is it that will change? Let those who are going to nocturnal meetings with P2B and the like, the ones who are forming alliance and what do they call it, merger and all kinds of nonsense. Under which constitution are you planning to come and take power to change what from what? When you are not concerned about the constitution that determines everything against everybody, apart from the criminals operating it. We call them criminals because the constitution is a fraud with our signature or implanted outside our view, outside our consent. 25 years is long time enough to tell them that it cannot continue. And so anybody who still subscribes to that constitution, who has sworn to defend and uphold, who is preparing to come to swear by going to another election, is a criminal that ought to be put away from society. Is a criminal that ought to be stopped. And so when we call them criminals, it is because they subscribe to a fraudulent instrument as basis of union, basis of democracy, basis of power and authority for themselves. So we have to rejoice that our onslaught, our campaign against the 1999 Constitution has succeeded 100%. The only thing remaining is for us to enforce our victory. And that enforcement is by the mechanism contained in our proposition, our 5-point proposition. Let people find the courage and the honesty to say that the Ninas is right, that that constitution is the source of the problem, that they will not go to another election under that constitution, that we must go to transition in place of election to reconstruct the damaged constitutional basis of Nigeria. Anything short of that, it boils down to dishonesty, to now say, come and give us good governance, come and give us a subsidy of fair, come and give us corruption that will end, come and give us an election that will be waste model. We believe that if our people will listen now, it should not take more than 3 to 6 months from the time they make that concerted demand. Because the government will then, it won't take 3 days of any kind of action that anybody decides to put up for government to say yes or no to that. Because except the government is going to find an answer to the demand of acknowledge that this constitution is the problem. Is the government going to be able to persuade us with all of what they've done already that that constitution is no longer the problem? Why are they trying to write another one from the back door? By their action, they have already acknowledged. We're only going to demand that they make the kind of announcement that Frederick de Klerk made in South Africa in 1990. That's our demand. That should be our demand. The Nina's propositions must now become the demand of those who wish to depart from this damnation.
Yep. The Nina's demand must be what we need to do in order to depart from this hell called Nigeria, from the open air prison called Nigeria, the place that has held black men and women down from progressing. So until we start telling ourselves the truth, like we say, you can have night vigil with your Saint Peter Obi. The man that couldn't tell you the truth about one watch, just one watch. I was asking my niece the other day, I said, as a governor of a state in Nigeria, she's 22, that, was a governor for 8 years. Let's say he had a bad day. What kind of gift do you think he should be getting? She said perfume first, in honesty, and then she said watches. I said, can you believe a man came out and told your people that as a governor, prior governor, plus, he was the vice president of Articulate, then he ran for his own office. He told you, God gave you guys a signal. He lied about a watch that we expect him to have, a watch that we know he got for presents from everyone. He lied about it, but he wants to give you a new Nigeria. Go figure.
No wonder he said constitution is not the problem, after he has said Nigeria is like a vehicle without engine. Speaking from both sides of the mouth. In the morning, you say one thing, the evening, you say another thing. There's no honesty. There's no dignity. This is not somebody to be trusted. And